Hi guys, I hope you can see me. Apologies for that. Stupid YouTube with lack of buttons, that it just was not showing the button for going live on the actual link. So just couldn't go live. Very bizarre. I'm sure I was probably doing something wrong. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you. Hi, Liz Allen. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, guys, I am just putting in a post here. A comment, rather. Sorry, guys. We shall get there eventually. We shall get there. Oh, what a palaver that was. What a palaver. Sorry, guys. For some reason, it was just not letting me go onto the go live button. The go live button just wasn't there. I'm sure I was probably in the wrong place, but it's normally where it is, and it wasn't there. So, yeah. So we've got Billy. Hi, Billy. Kaka. Draka, hi. Lovely to see you. Chrissy, thank you for being here, my moderator. And Liz Allen, thank you for being here. Right, let me just get set up. Oh, everything's going wrong. I haven't even had time to put makeup on. It's... yeah, it's been one of those days. It really has been one of those days. Hi, Mikey. Lovely to see you. Thanks for being here. Right. Let's calm down a bit. May the powers of the One, the source of all creation, all-pervasive, omnipotent, eternal. May the goddess, the lady of the moon, and the god-horned hunter of the sun. May the powers of the spirits of the stones, rulers of the elemental realms. May the powers of the stars above and earth below bless this place and this time, and we who are with you. Hail and welcome. Finally got the candle lit. Hi, Alistair. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, guys. It's just been... I'm really pissed off. Yes, thank you for putting up the bin podcast link. That's excellent, guys. If you would like to see some of the amazing guys in the States and the stuff that they get up to, it's really fun. You can go and have a watch of their channel. Oh, hang on, guys. Let me sort out what's going on here, because, again, I'm just at my wit's end with technology today. I cannot wait for Mercury to go forwards again, or something to happen that will, you know, make my life easier when it comes to computers. I need somebody to help me. I really do. The Bin podcast has achieved 1,000 subs. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Woohoo! Well done. Well done. You're severely sleep deprived, Mikey. Well, go get some kip. Watch this first, though. Watch this first. So, yes, congratulations to me as well. When I went into my studio settings just now, it's 3 years ago since I posted my first video on here. So I'm quite impressed with that. That's quite an achievement, I think, for me. So deep breaths. Yeah, they will get better. They will get better. It's just been one of those days. My run today was horrendous. Yesterday, as you know, I was struggling with my breathing, and today it was just the same. I really struggled with my breath today. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, because I don't feel ill. For those of you who don't know, I have COPD, that's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which is like emphysema. basically it's lung disease. From years of smoking, my own fault. I don't smoke anymore. I haven't smoked for nearly 20 years now. But alas, the damage was already done. So yeah, so I'm lucky really that I'm still running and you know, still able to do certain things. But yeah, the last couple of days, it's not been good. Hopefully tomorrow it will be better. I'll only be doing a short run tomorrow. I was going to do about 8 kilometers today. I finished on just over 6. I took a shortcut. I thought I got to sort of the part where I normally go, the extra bit and then the other extra bit. I know you've got no clue what I'm talking about. And I said, no, I'm going to go the shortcut way, go back to my car, head home. I was just exhausted. I got home and you'll volunteer as a tribute to help me fight my tech demons. I've no idea what that is. No idea what that is. If you can explain it to me, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit thick. Kirsty, I saw that you're there. Lovely to see you. No, we know you're there. We know you're there. We saw you there. Tech Gremlins. Let me just go and fetch my sledgehammer. Yes. I'm sure that there was something that I wasn't doing. I know that there was something that I wasn't doing. So yeah. Help you set up my streams and get you a layout that doesn't give you anxiety whenever you have the time. Oh, thank you, Mikey. Thank you. If you can, email me. My email address is in my description on my channel, but it is thewitchygoth at oh, shut up, watch. Thewitchygoth at gmail.com. That's it. Thewitchygoth at gmail.com. And then we can communicate via email, which I'm sure will be easier than messaging in the chat box. So, Witchcraft Wednesday, Witchy Wednesday. I thought because it's coming up to Imbolc on the weekend that I would talk about sabbats and what they are. And I will pay specific focus to Imbolc. I've actually made a whole load of notes. But what is a sabbat? First of all, we have a wheel of the year. So within that wheel of the year, it is divided into 4 seasons: winter, spring, autumn. Winter, spring, summer, and autumn. And within each of those 4 seasons, there are specific sabbats that we practice. So the first sabbat that we practice, and this is going to sound very backwards to most people because in Christianity, we look at January being the first month. Sorry, let me just put this on silent because inevitably somebody's going to I've just seen a message from my mate. Yes, the universe is really, really, really fucking around with me tonight, Tammy. So, yeah, we start our new year with Samhain. Samhain, as it's spelt, but it's pronounced Samhain, which is Halloween, the 31st of October. That is our new year. So, like I say, it all sounds a little bit backwards. Then we move to Yule, which is the 21st of December, which is the winter solstice. So that is the shortest day and the longest night. Now, I do want to just let people know that if you are in the southern hemisphere, the dates are reversed. So you would be celebrating summer solstice on the 21st of December. Whereas we in the Northern Hemisphere celebrate it on the 21st of June for summer solstice. So it's a bit confusing when you're in the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. And I remember when I first started my journey, I started my journey in the Southern Hemisphere. And I was like, aren't we supposed to, there were no books at that time written for the Southern Hemisphere. There was nothing available to tell me that I needed to reverse switch the sabbats around. So, yeah. So from Yule, we move to Imbolc, which is the 1st of February, which is this weekend. I'm going to come back to Imbolc in a while, and I'll chat about that and what it is. And if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat. Just a quick reminder, the chat guys, please be polite to each other. We are a lovely family here. We do have a couple of mods on tonight who will stamp out any trolls that happen to appear. Sorry, I've got a fluff, probably a cat fur in my mouth. If you would like to comment, please subscribe to the channel and you will then be able to comment. And please, if you could subscribe to the channel, I think I'm on 819 subscribers at the moment. And I'd really, 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 really love to get to 1,000 by my birthday, which is, write this down on your calendars, the 25th of April. 25th of April. And I turn 57. I look much younger when I'm wearing makeup. So, what is this doing? Technology and me today have just been horrendous. What? Okay, I've no idea what you are talking about, but it looks like you're talking about poop. I'm now at 820 subs. Oh, thank you, Chris. Don't know who's joined, but thank you, thank you, thank you. You are welcome here. So we've got to Imbolc. After Imbolc, we move to the spring equinox, which is around the 21st of March. Ostara, which is basically aligned to Easter. However, Easter falls as per the church calendar so many days after Ash Wednesday, and I'm not sure how they work it out. I'm not a Christian, so but it falls differently each year. Sorry, I've got hair in my eye as well. You can see I'm flustered. Then after Ostara, which we move to Beltane, which is May Day, the 1st of May. One of my favourite festivals. So Imbolc, Ostara, and Beltane are the 3 spring festivals. Yule is the only winter festival, or winter sabbat. Then we move to Midsummer, also known as Litha, which falls on the 21st, generally the 21st of June. Midsummer is the longest day, the shortest night. One of my favourite times of year. I love the light. I'm definitely a sun worshipper. From there, we move into the harvest festivals. So we have the first harvest festival is Lunasa, or Lamas, which is the 1st of August. Then we move to the autumn equinox, the 21st of September, which is called Mabon. However, there's a whole story with that it was only recently called Mabon. So, a lot of people still prefer to call it autumn equinox because Mabon technically has nothing to do with the autumn equinox, the actual figure of Mabon, who was a god. Then we move to Samhain, which is Halloween, 31st of October, and those are the 3 harvest festivals. So as you can see, we've got 3 spring festivals, 3 harvest festivals, 1 summer and 1 winter, and those are our Sabbat days. Much the same as Christianity is we celebrate on those days. So I'm going to use Christmas as an example as to a Sabbat and how it works, because it is very, 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 very similar. So we have Christmas Eve in Christianity, which is when we start our celebrations. We, have normally family together. We are wrapping presents. Some countries open presents on Christmas Eve. We have possibly a Christmas Eve meal. We decorate the tree. We decorate our home. And then we go to sleep and we wake up and it's Christmas Day, and we hope that we've got lots of prezzies. And on that day, we celebrate the birth of Christ. Okay, so I just want to put that there, the birth of Christ there, because most of us in modern Christianity perhaps don't really focus on the birth of Christ. Most people seem to focus on the Prezi side of things, which is a good thing. And we do give gifts at Yule as well. So it is something that is tradition in Yule. And we then have a wonderful meal that we celebrate, normally with family. Sometimes we remember those who have gone before us, those who have passed over to the other side. We think of them, and then we just enjoy the rest of the day. Now, that is pretty much what we do in our sabbats, except there's a little bit more involved. So the eve of a sabbat, we will prepare for that sabbat. So for Imbolc, for example, we will light candles. We may light all the lights and lamps in our home, not for a long time, obviously, just for maybe 5-10 minutes. But we light candles. If you have lamps, you may want to use lamps, gas lamps. This is to welcome the light back into our lives. We have gone through winter, and this first spring festival is just the sort of time when we start to see the days getting that little bit longer. Okay, it's probably going to snow this weekend, but that's also a good thing because we can do a lot with snow. And it is also part of the Imbolc ritual and festival. So on Imbolc Eve, we will light candles, we may say prayers, we may think about, sit and meditate about Imbolc and what it means to us. Now, Imbolc itself, the word, means use milk, Imbolc. So, or Imbolg with a G, it can be. And it also, it's spelt differently in different dialects. So in Gaelic, it's one way, in Welsh, it's another, and in Irish, Celtic, it's another, but it means the same thing. It basically means use milk. So this is the time of year when the lambs are lambing. They're giving birth. And this sounds awful to think about because I know that so many of us eat lamb around Easter time. Those lambs that are being born now are going to be on your plate for Easter. So take a moment to give thanks for that as well. And remember that for everything that is born, something has to die. And there is this constant cycle of life. We humans need to eat food. And, you can choose to be vegetarian, vegan, or you can be, a meat eater like I am. And it is your choice. There is nothing wrong with whichever foodstuffs you decide to eat. Kirsty, the silence of the lambs. Lambs lambing, Lammy did PMQs. I didn't actually watch PMQs today. I've been so busy. I was out running when that was on. And when I got back, I collapsed for a while and had something to eat. Then I had a phone call with a friend for a while. And then it was like, oh my God, I better get ready. And then here I am with no makeup on. So I didn't really have a chance to get ready. What I did do, though, was straighten my fringe, because when I go running, my fringe does this sort of octopus thing where it just goes in all different directions. So on Imbolc Eve, BRIGHID will walk the land, blessing the land. It's the greening. It's the time when the new shoots are coming up. And some of you will have already seen snowdrops, perhaps crocuses. I've got snowdrops in my garden. You've seen I've got snowdrops on the pictures here on my YouTube channel. I love snowdrops. I really do. I uploaded a video the other day of snowdrops blowing in the wind when I was up at the wood when we had that other sunny day. Sunny days, we can count them, can't we? In January, probably been about 4 or 5. So BRIGHID wanders the earth on Imbolc Eve. We leave offerings out for her. Dairy products are pretty much the foods that we eat over Imbolc. Now, obviously, for vegetarians and vegans, you will need to look at alternatives such as oat milk or, you know, other types of food that do not contain animal products. And I'm not au fait with all of those products. So if you would like to, you know, pop them down into the comments so that people who are vegan and vegetarian can actually know soya, yes, soya, almond, all of those alternatives are all acceptable. Pretty much you can eat what you like, guys. I mean, you know, you do not have to stick to these rules of eating whatever. You know, when we talk about being a pagan, we love feasting. It is our thing. We love feasting, we love wassailing, we love celebrating. So like you get one Christmas a year, we get 8. We get 8. And then we get the SABBATS, which are the full moons, which we also feast on. There's no wonder lots of witches are rather plump. So you can choose what you want to eat on your Imbolc Eve and Imbolc Day. Personally, I will leave out for BRIGHID a bowl of milk and, you know, probably some biscuits or cookies or something that perhaps have chocolate in. The cats will probably end up eating them, but there is a fox as well who comes around. So he'll probably also eat it. Andrea, YouTube didn't notify you. Andrea, I actually had an issue with the first stream. It wouldn't let me go live. The button for go live was not there. So I have had to create a new live stream. I am sorry about that. So yeah, it is. It's probably me. I don't know what I'm doing. Mikey from the BIM podcast has offered to help me set things up when I've got a bit of time and when he's got a bit of time. So yeah. And again, big shout out to the BIM podcast for having 1,000 subscribers. That's brilliant for them. Now we've just got to get me up to 1,000 subs as well. Mithril, I saw that you were also in the comments. Lovely to see you as well. Not well, inhalers have run out on your COPD. Oh no. Mithril, I've also, the last 2 days, my breathing has been absolutely crap. Yesterday, my run, I just couldn't get breath in, but the humidity was 98%. Today, it was 84% when I was out, and I still could not breathe properly. Maybe it is the time of year, although I didn't see any pollen on I have an app on my phone that I use that shows me all of those things for runners. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that you haven't got your inhaler. I know what it's like without an inhaler. And I actually used my inhaler 3 times on my run yesterday, and I used it today, and I just was not able to get in enough oxygen. So hope you feel better soon. Fingers crossed. So where was I? Yes, Imbolc Eve. So we leave out a little offering for BRIGHID, and she will bless that offering as well. So you may want to leave something outside for her to bless that you will bring into your home. One thing that you can leave outside, which I love this, is a scarf or a piece of material or a ribbon. You can hang it onto a tree or a bush or a fence somewhere that's outside. And as she goes past, she will bless that. And you can then, and it gets covered in the dew, possibly frost, because I know when I was running this morning, I did see frost. In the shady bits, there was still a bit of frost. And then you can bring that in and use it for healing purposes throughout the rest of the year. Now, I also believe that you should do that for 7 years in a row, and it will give it even more healing powers, especially for headaches, apparently. So some of us who suffer with bad headaches, you may want to use it. But personally, I'm going to be using a scarf, and I would probably wrap it around myself if I need a little bit of healing and a little bit of comfort. Billy Rowantree, red thread, that falls under is more of a magical spell. That's protection. And I'm not sure. I think that would happen. Do you know, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check that one. But this time of year now, we look at birch trees. We look at how birch trees are. They are birch, which is Beth in the Celtic Ogham. It is Bacana in the runes. It is number 1. It is the first. So this is the first spring festival. But red thread on a mountain ash tree, rowan tree, mountain ash, is, I think it is a protection spell. I'm sure it's protection spell because red is normally protection, but it's also fire. So that's possibly something that could be done at midsummer. But now this is all, it can be quite confusing when it comes to paganism, but you get it in the end. It's like, you know, you start to take it all in. So there are 4 fire festivals within paganism. And you would think, oh, it's the solar ones, midsummer, midwinter, and the 2 equinoxes. No, it's not. It's the other ones that aren't. They are the fire festivals. They are the ones where we work with the element of fire. We work with the element of fire in all of them. But those 4, so that's Imbolc, Beltane, Lammas, and Samhain are known as the 4 fire festivals. Rowan is a strong protector. All gardens should have one, in your opinion. I agree with you. Oh, I believe that all gardens should have all 12 of the trees, if not all types of trees. I will be hanging my scarf on my elderberry tree because it's elderberry is the goddess's tree. And so, yeah. Brigid is a goddess, but she's also a saint. I'm going to get to that in a bit as well, because I hope I'm making sense to you guys. So, Imbolc, we go to sleep, we wake up, and you may want to go outside barefoot if it's not too cold and walk in the dew. Something that I love to do, which is supposed to bring you beauty for the next year, is to pop your hands onto the grass or any dewy area and then wipe that dew over your face. It's supposed to bring beauty. I could do with rolling my face over the whole bloody lawn, to be honest. Get rid of these horrible jowls that are starting to form. Age is so, it's terrifying. So birch trees are the trees that we recognize at this time of year as being the sort of first tree, although it's not the first tree, but it is the first tree. It's the first in the alphabets of both the runes and the Celtic Ogham, which is spelt Ogham, but pronounced Ogham. So the day of Imbolc. Oh, I forgot one important thing. Sorry, I did forget one important thing. On Imbolc Eve, you put out the fire. If you've got a hearth, put out the fire and flatten the ashes. And when you wake up the next morning, if you see little footprints in the ashes, it perhaps means that Brigid has been to visit you. However, there's also the perpetual flame, which I'm going to get to in a little while. So on Imbolc itself, we welcome the sunrise, we eat our feast, we enjoy the day. We may want to create a Brigid's cross, which I've actually got a symbol here. Because as I say, Brigid is the main goddess of this time of year. Although there's very little known about Brigid, very few stories known about her. Just looking for an image of a Brigid's cross here. And I have put some links into the description box so you can have a look. There is nothing in there or there. You can have a look on those websites that I've linked into the description box. But it is a 4-sided cross made out of reeds that are woven, and each side of the cross is of equal length. And I did want to make one this afternoon to show you, but I'm not Blue Peter, I'm afraid. So I don't have one that I already made earlier. And yeah, so this one that I'm wearing on this pendant is very similar to what it looks like. This is a cross of BRIGHID. And it is known for protection, for healing. It also represents the sun, and it represents the wheel of the year, the 4 major fire festivals. So you may want to make that. Also on BRIGHID's Day, St. Bridget's Day, St. BRIGHID, you may want to create a BRIGHID doll or puppet. There are lots of different types. I got this one a few years ago, and I use it for Imbolc. You can decorate them with all sorts of things, shells, crystals, flowers, whatever you want to decorate them with. This has got a lot of cat fur on it. And often we put the doll into a little basket or a cloth where she can rest. Now this, if it's not raining and snowing, you may want to leave outside as well on Imbolc Eve, and then bring her in the next day to bless the home. So BRIGHID has then blessed the doll as well, and you bring her in to protect and keep the home blessed. Now also, you may want to use a priapic wand. Now, I repurpose things. When I find things that I like, I repurpose them. This was actually in a bouquet of flowers a few years ago, and it's the pine cone stuck to this piece of dowel. So I use this as my priapic wand. Priapic meaning it needs a clean as well. Everything gets cleaned before Imbolc, which is basically a phallic wand, because this is the time when we plant seeds as well, and the ground is blessed. So if you put your little doll into your little basket or onto your cloth, you can put the wand across the doll. It represents the fertilization, the abundance, the growing. And you may want to leave that on your altar for the whole month of, well, until the equinox in March. It's completely up to you. You may also want to use her as protection as well in the house, because she does bring protection. So that's your doll, your cross. Another thing that I like to do on Imbolc is to bless candles. So actually taking a candle and putting oil onto the candle. I'm not going to demonstrate how you do it because it actually looks rude in nature of actually doing it. So I'm not going to demonstrate, but I'm sure you can imagine how it's done. Kirsty, if you want to call it a voodoo doll, but it's not. It's made of, when I've made this, it's all love that's gone in here. So it's got a few rose petals in, and some rose oil in there, and some lavender in there. So it's just some floral material. You know, you cut the shape and then sew it together, and then just put your different things on that you want. You can buy these as well. You know, not all of us are able to make these things or have time to make these things either. Voodoo doll is generally made out of different stuff. We can talk about that at some stage, but yeah, voodoo is a little bit different to witchcraft as such. Where was I? Go back to, oh yes, blessing candles, so that your candles are all ready for rituals and spells when you need them. So, you know, whatever color candles that you would normally use. Candle colors are, I'm not going to go through them. It's just too much information today as to what candles you use for what. But if you are ever in doubt, a white candle is sufficient. A white candle will work. It's very simple. So taking time for your cooking your meal, eating your meal, celebrating, you may want to go around the house with your sage bundle, bless the house, cleanse the house, remove and release any negative energy. Also, traditional pagans will take down their Yuletide decorations that are natural decorations. So we're going to burn them on the Beltane fire, not the Beltane fire, sorry, the Imbolc fire, but not the plastic ones, obviously, you know, your real ones. So yeah, spring cleaning, Kirsty, definitely spring cleaning. Although spring cleaning goes on really till Beltane as well, because we are getting rid of all of that stale energy that's been in the house from winter, because, you know, in winter, we tend to stay indoors more. And of course, going back in time, pre-Christianity, you know, when people lived in smaller homes, hovels, wooded huts, or, you know, mud huts, people would stay indoors and keep the fire lit and keep warm. So the air would become stale. Can you imagine all of that body odor smell? Because people didn't have running water and things. And so it's all about getting those nasty odors and built up energy out of the house. So you can use a broom, but sage smudging is really good. It cleans all bad things out of the house. And you can add various other things to your sage as well. I've got some sage that's got some heather in it, that's got some lavender in it. There's the other thing as well, and I can't remember the blinking name of it. It's gone out of my head. It's like a stick. It's gone out of my head that you can also use. Now when I do use the smudge stick, so I use the smudge stick in my left hand, and then I waft the smoke around with, I've got a big one of these with my feathers around, but I mean, you can use a fan, you can just use the smudge stick. If you don't know, it's not cinnamon mithril, it's something else. I can't remember what it's called. I hate spring cleaning, getting into the little gaps. I ended up just getting rid of all my spring simples. I love you guys so much. Incense, yes, incense, but no, this is something else. I cannot remember the name of it. It has just gone, phew. It'll come to me. It will come to me. So cleansing your house. But one thing that I would suggest is that, and I think I said this on New Year as well, the actual Christian New Year, the New Year that goes in line with our calendar, is that don't spend your New Year's Day doing things that you don't like doing, because the symbolism is there that you're going to do them for the next year. So you would be cleaning every day, for example. So cleansing the house, yes, with your sage. Rosemary, yes, rosemary is also very good. I've made rosemary bundles before. I'm actually going to Google this, guys, because it's doing my head in now. Bear with me. Palo Santo. Palo Santo. It's like a bark. Palo Santo. But I mean, I'm so angry because I had this humongous sage bush in the garden, and a garden service came in and they cut it all down and said it would grow again, and it's not grown again. So yeah. And when you are burning incense in your home at this time of year, think about all the scents and fragrances of spring, you know, fresh air, fresh flowers. Wake up and smell the rosemaries. Yeah. Make sure you spend some time as well on your Imbolc day, meditating, looking at what you want to do for the next 6 weeks until Ostara. One thing that you'll notice is there's pretty much 6 weeks between each Sabbat. So you have the 6-week period of doing things. And, you know, I make lists. I don't always finish everything on the list, but it doesn't matter because you will do what you need to do. The bark witchy goth. Yes, Palo Santo. So make sure you meditate. Maybe you want to have a nice cleansing bath, get rid of all the negative energy on yourself. I'm not saying we all stink. That's not what I'm intoning here. What I am saying is you may want to actually soak in the bath, bubbles or oils or however it is that you would normally cleanse even in a shower, you can do the same. You can stand or sit in the shower and visualize all negative energy washing off of your body, going down the drain. It's all up to you. Make it as ritualistic as you want to. You know, you may want to put some Himalayan sea salt into the water. I can't use salt because I've got very dry skin and it just makes me itch. So I use a few drops of almond oil and then a few drops of rose dilute, just a few drops. If you do use oil, do not mix mineral oil with flower essence or herbal essence oils. Mineral oil and herbal essence oils clash and they will cause massive problems with your skin. I have done it once and I do not recommend you do it. Mineral oil is like baby oil. It's made from petroleum. So yeah, try not to use that. So yeah. Who got a mention on the channel? Dead sea salt is moisturizing and helps dry skin and psoriasis. Kirsty, I've tried that as well. And for me, it just didn't, it's not helped me. That, I don't know why, you know, we're all different. So yeah. So I put the oil in, and when I do my cleansing baths, I don't actually, you know, I'm not getting into the bath to wash. Obviously I do wash, but I'm there to meditate, to soak, to release everything that I don't want with me. Planting seeds, as I said. So check your seed packets, make sure that you're planting the right seeds at the right time so that, you know, obviously different seeds are planted at different times to facilitate the best growth. And you may want to also bless those seeds. So you could use your priapic wand to bless the seeds. Now, I always draw pentagrams all over everything. It's just the thing that I do. You may not know how to draw a pentagram. It doesn't matter. It's intent. It's your intent that you are putting into those seeds. And you may want to, as you plant those seeds, say something such as, I plant this seed for abundance. I plant this seed for protection. I plant this seed for love. So, you know, you can also do that when you're lighting candles as well. You can light a candle for, you know, using tea lights, a candle for protection, a candle for love, a candle for abundance, whatever you feel you need at that time in your life. So coming back to Bridget, Saint Bridget, she is or was an Irish goddess. Now, as I said earlier on, there's very, very little known about her. The mythology within the Celtic pantheon, there's very little written knowledge. The Celts didn't really write. They had the Celtic ogham, but that was normally used by the Druids or the sort of leaders of the Celts. It wasn't actually used by the Celtic peoples. Everything was word of mouth. So, as I mentioned, she is a triple goddess, and she's a goddess of the hearth and smithcraft. She's a goddess of healing, poet and poetry, and she represents the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So she has three aspects to her. She is the maiden, being the daughter, the young aspect prior to menstruation. She is the mother, representing the woman who is able to give birth, and she represents the crone as well, which is after menopause, the croning goddess. Now, some people also believe and tell a tale that the Cailleach, who is Scottish Gaelic, she is a goddess of, she's a crone goddess, actually, lovely goddess to work with. She is one of my goddesses who I worked with through the winter months. She is supposedly BRIGHID as well. So at Imbolc, she turns into BRIGHID, and then at Samhain, she turns back into the Cailleach. But again, there are so many different myths around this that it's not always clear as to which one is correct or not. I just look at it all and say, well, they're all right. You know, you can take all of those stories and put them together. So St. Bridget's Day is now actually a public holiday in Ireland. It was made into a public holiday, I think, a couple of years ago. And she's typically seen with fiery red hair. I've actually got this book, Magic of the Celtic Gods and Goddesses, and I love this image. I don't know if you can see that there. She's got the bright red hair and the flames all around her, and she is seen as the sort of, you know, bright goddess that she is. Now, her father was the Dagda. The Dagda is a strange character as gods go. That's a whole other story. But her father was Dagda, so her mother may well have been the Morrigan, but she's also related to the Tuatha De Danann, which are the fairy folk. And she, basically Dagda is the overarching father of the pagan Irish gods. As I said, her mythology is not very clear. There's a lot of different tales about her. She's also known as a peacekeeper and a peacemaker. She was the mother of a fallen warrior named Ruadan, and she was married to Brez. Don't know who Brez is. I would need to do some research into that. But when Ruadan was unalived in battle, she wailed in lament, and that became known as keening. Now, St. Bridget was the Christian appropriation of BRIGHID. Did she even exist? We don't know. There's no actual written documentation to say that she did really exist. But we do believe that a nun was made into a bishop as St. Bridget. I use the word BRIGHID with an H in. It's just, I've used that term my whole life. And it's said that she causes milk and butter to multiply in abundance. She turned water into beer. And she gives her father's sword to a pauper so he could sell it to buy food and for his family. She also tricked kings into setting prisoners free and into giving away their land. There is one tale where she gouged out one of her eyes because she was going to be wed to some bloke that she didn't like. And so she thought, I'll make myself ugly. And then, you know, he won't want me. And he didn't. So because she's a healer, after he'd vanished and gone over the hill, she healed herself. The legend says that she was consecrated as a bishop because in Irish iconography, there are images of her as a nun holding a bishop's crozier. Some Scottish legends, for our Scottish friends who follow the channel, tell of her being a prisoner, as I said, from Samhain to Imbolc by the Cailleach, and she was rescued by Ongus, which I'm sure is I'm not sure I've pronounced it right. I know it's Angus, but it's spelled Oenghus. So let me know if I'm pronouncing it right. He rescued her, and he was the Gaelic god of youth and love. So, you know, there's all these different sort of stories about her that will be different in each area as these tales happen. So in Kildare, in Ireland, there was the nunnery, and where the perpetual flame for BRIGHID was lit. And the nuns kept this flame lit constantly. Now, Kildare in Irish is Kill, as in Sill, C-I-L-L, Dara, which means Church of the Oak. So Dara is oak. And they would tend this flame and make sure that it burned perpetually. Unfortunately, when King Henry VIII came to the throne and decided he wanted to get rid of Catholicism because he wanted to marry other wives, and, you know, he wasn't allowed to under Catholicism, he stamped out the fire. Whether he did it or somebody else did it, I don't know. Probably some bishops in the local area stamped out the fire because it was a pagan thing. Some of the nuns relit it, but again, it got put out and so on. So in this abbey where they were living, eventually the nuns of Kildare and of the Flame disbanded. The words that were spoken around that time were, guard your fire, this is your night. Wells are also dedicated to her in Ireland because the water rises in the well, and she's a goddess of all who rises. So you can see the plants and flowers rising through the ground and the springs that rise out of the ground, and obviously fire rises. So in 1993, I need to find these notes that I made now. And I've put the link to the website for the Solas BRIGHID in Ireland was built in Kildare. And in 1993, the flame was relit and is guarded by the nuns of the Solas BRIGHID. You can actually go there, you can visit. They offer all sorts of different, days around, and go and look at the website. As I say, it is on the links. Let me see if I can link it in the chat. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. That's that. Oh. There we go. I'll link it into the chat now. It's a beautiful website, and it shows you different things that you can do on different day, on the different days. And it's a whole, sort of week that you can work with. It's not just the 31st and the 1st of February. You can work over those few days. Strathclyde, land of the Dorada Celtic kings and Ireland before Scotland was a whole country. Yep, it was. Wildflowers of Offaly with John Freeman is a mint. I like the song Wildflowers by All About Eve. The English have continually buggered the Irish. Sorry, everyone. Mithril, I hope. Engis. Okay, thank you, Draka, for that. Yeah, if I have pronounced anything wrong, I do apologize. I'm English, and yeah, my pronunciations are not always correct when it comes to the Celtic goddesses and gods. So I do apologize. I do always ask people when I'm performing hand fastings for them and they want to be hand fasted under a specific god or goddess, I ask them, what pronunciation do you want me to use? Wildflower by the Cult. Yeah, also a good song. Lana, hi Lana, lovely to see you. Didn't know you were watching, but thank you for joining us. Laeth Wolf is a storyteller on YouTube. He tells stories from Scots history and myths and has a lovely voice. I will have to pay him a visit. What have I missed that is possibly Brez was Balor's son. Yes, Balor, the one eye. Was Balor the one eye? There's so many. The gods and goddesses in Irish mythology are very bizarre. Very bizarre. I think Balor has one eye, doesn't he? And Lou actually goes and gets him in the eye because Balor's eye, when it opens, it kills everybody. It destroys everything in front of it. So they have this thing that they open. Am I right about Balor's eye? I'm sure I told this. He does. Yeah, I'm sure I told that tale at Lamass, actually, when I did my Lamass ritual last year. I told the tale of they use these massive ropes to open his one eye, and it destroys the land. But before he could do it at this one battle, Lou, the Shining One, basically takes his bow and arrow, or is it his spear? I think he has a spear, and he fires it off and it gets him in the eye, and so he can't. It's a death ray. Yeah, it is a death ray. Yeah. Well, not really Cyclops. No, that's Greek mythology. So, but similar to that, because Cyclops' eye opens on its own, doesn't it? Whereas Balor's eye, the third eye, has to be opened with ropes. It's yeah. Yeah, I've a pack of 1,000 celery seeds. I can eat all that. You can't eat all that, bless you. Maybe, you know, I like to think of, I don't know where you live, Elle, but, you know, I live in a village. So if I have an abundance of stuff, I put it in a box by the gate and or on top of the bin in a box, like apples. Last year I had a glut of apples. So I put loads on top of in a box on top of the bin, the recycling bin, not the black bin, and put aside free apples, and people took them because I couldn't eat them all. This year there weren't as many because we had a massive storm just after the flowers, you know, the petals had all flowered and it knocked half of them off. So I didn't get as many apples this year. And I always leave some on the tree for the blackbirds because they like the apples. It's good food for the birdies. Celery soup, yeah. Medusa is similar. Well, yeah, sort of. But she's got snakes for hair and she turns them into stone. And there's the story of, what's his name? Is it Achilles? Who goes and brings back the head of Medusa? You were going to grow them for the piggies. Yay, grow them for the piggies. Right, so I have a deck of cards called the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards, and I dug out the BRIGHID card here, and just a little message for everybody. Don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. As I said, she was a peacemaker and a peacekeeper. So if you believe something is right, stand up for it. Because I've felt BRIGHID calling me for a couple of weeks now. I felt really drawn to her energy. You know, I'm more drawn to Morrigan normally because she's quite a strong warrior goddess. But BRIGHID's energy has been calling me. It's a softer energy. To me, this is how I experience her energy. It's a softer energy, much lighter. She treads lighter than Morrigan. Morrigan sort of stamps her feet on the ground, whereas BRIGHID sort of floats above almost. Oh, thank you for that, Chris C, for putting that link up to Leah's channel. Leah Wolf. Oh, brilliant. That's a lovely looking website. I shall definitely be having a look at that. And what on earth has gone off now? So even though we see BRIGHID as being a goddess of light, she's a very strong goddess. Don't forget, she is a goddess of smithcraft. So she's able to make weapons. She's a goddess of poetry. So perhaps spend your Imbolc day writing some poetry or doing some other creative work. She's the goddess of the hearth and home. So keep that fire burning for yourself, whether it is a candle, whether it is a lamp. You know, you may want to get some of the little candles that are battery operated, for example, so you're not going to set things on fire. But yeah, don't back down. Don't back down. Have a look at those websites, guys, if you want to find out a bit more about it. I'm sorry, my talk today was a little bit up and down because I was so flustered by not being able to get onto the original feed, the original live stream. It really annoyed me because I'm going to have to go and copy and paste all of that stuff into the description box here. Yes, I'm saying it's in the description box here, and it's not because it's in the other description box. So I will copy and paste all of that stuff over here. Just a reminder, if you would like to support the channel, you can go to my Buy Me a Coffee, which is in the pinned comment above the chat. All of those monies will go towards a camera and a microphone and software and so on, so that I can basically get you know, the equipment that I need to make much better quality videos and so on, because yeah. And it takes me ages to edit them on my phone, because I do all my recording videos on my phone and then edit them on my phone as well. And there's so much that I cannot do on that editing program. I'm going to have to go because I didn't even get a chance to feed the cats earlier, and they're banging on the door. So I can hear Goblins bashing her head against the door. So thank you to the mods for modding for me this evening. Thank you to everybody who watched. Let me know what you thought of the video. You can email me at thewitchygoth@gmail.com. That link and the link for the Buy Me a Coffee are in the description of the channel as well, so you can find them there. I will be going live tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock again, with my WTF show. And there's a lot of WTFs that have gone on this week that I'm going to be discussing. So it'll probably be a bit more of a laugh than today's, because today's was quite serious. But have a wonderful evening. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. And I'll see you soon. Blessed be. Mwah.